ready with me to apply to be a waitress? Talking about Matthew 20 through 26. Jesus had already begun his public ministry, and he had been going around talking at different temples, talking to different groups, and he had just finished telling the parable of the vineyard. He had just predicted his death for a second time. And you know, when they start with then, it's about to be some foolishness. Then the mother of James and John come up behind Jesus and knelt next to him to ask him a request. And Jesus goes, "What is your request?" She told Jesus, "In your kingdom, please let my son sit in places of honor next to you." Like, baby girl, read the room. I just told you I'm about to die, and you over here worried about what your son's gonna sit in the kingdom? And Jesus responds, "You don't even know what you're asking me. Are your sons prepared to drink from the bitter cup of suffering I'm about to drink from?" "Oh, yes," James and John reply. "We are able to drink from your cup. I drink from my cup of suffering regardless, but it's not up to me who gets to sit to my right, to my left. That's up to God. That's up to my Father who deserves the place for the ones he has chosen." When the disciples heard what James and John were asking, they really got in their feelings about it. Jesus called them all together and said, "You know, the rulers and the officials love to lord their title over people and show that they're in authority. I want y'all to know, among y'all, it's going to be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must first be a servant. Whoever wants to be first must first become your slave. For even the Son of Man came to serve, not to be served, and came to give his life as a ransom for many." I think a lot of times we view ourselves as higher than we ought to. We worry not only ourselves, but God with our silly, worldly requests. We forget it's not about us. We're more worried about titles and being seen as superior, and we've forgotten what it is truly about, which is to love God, love his people, and create disciples. "Lord, I want to be the most anointed pastor or worship leader." And you don't even like people. You won't even serve people whom you can see. So I'm supposed to believe that you're going to trust a God you don't. Matthew 25:40 says, "You've done to the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you have done it to me." You become a servant and serve people, especially people who you feel do not deserve it. That is serving Christ. Because what is the point in serving in 13 ministries if you hate people? I heard someone say, if serving is beneath you, then leadership is above you. In order for us to be true disciples of Christ, we must deny ourselves, pick up our cross, and follow Jesus, which is what it says in Matthew 16:24. But in order to follow Jesus, you must serve. The only position a disciple should desire to be is servant. So don't rush to attain positions, because the most influential and incredible characters of the Bible started as servants. David serving in the field, serving his brothers. Samuel serving under Eli. God can't put you in position until you have the heart of a servant, because until you acquire the heart of a servant, it will always be about your agenda. But he is teaching you how to be trustworthy. He is teaching you how to have a heart for people. He's teaching you to be sensitive to his voice. When you are in the spirit, when you are in a place of servanthood, you are more attuned to your Father's voice. And then you become useful in the kingdom. How do you serve without a platform, without a microphone, without a pulpit? You don't acquire a pulpit, you don't acquire a platform, and then decide you're going to serve. It doesn't come automatically. Those are things you learn in the off season. You will spend most of your ministry off the platform, off the pulpit. And if you cannot serve, God cannot use you. So I pray that if this message found you, if you're wondering, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Lord, why am I on this earth? Serve. Because in serving people, you will realize and you will begin to cultivate that gift that is on the inside of you. The more you serve people, the more you take yourself out of the equation, you will begin to bring forth those gifts that have been planted in you from long ago. You want to know what your purpose is? Love God, love his people, make disciples. That is your purpose. That is your goal. That is why you're here. It's a matter of how you do that. But that is what you do. We don't serve to gain titles. We serve to further the kingdom. Don't ever let a title let you lose sight of what we're here for. love God, love his people, make disciples. I heard someone say, if God has you waiting, do what waiters do and serve. Your elevation is connected to your servanthood. So be humbled or get humbled. Love you, bye.